Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TC Talk, back today with another video. In today's video, I wanted to go over the RTN final results, kind of talk about Briar's almost living legend, but also just kind of talk about the meta in general, my thoughts on it, kind of what we're going into in Dusk Till Dawn, and just kind of get your thoughts as a community, and also just give you an update of how RTN season went for your respective heroes. So first here is my, I put out a tweet. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I never plug my socials ever. So definitely check it out down below. I usually only tweet about card game stuff, but also do a lot of stuff in esports and gaming. So if you're into that, definitely check that out. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If you're a long-standing member, thank you so much again for your continued support. Also, feel free to check out the Discord and the Patreon down below if you want to see some added benefits for the channel. But yeah, this is the final win total per the Fab article that came out about Briar's living legend status. Excuse me. So basically, they don't give like the exact win total, so you pretty much have to go into this and divide these by 2 to get the win total. So like if Briar had 34 points, you divide that by 2, which gave her 17 wins, and so on and so forth. So I went through, did all that. Basically, Lexi had the most, goes out saying, had 71 wins, which equated to basically 24% of the meta. It's like 23.98. Basically 24% of the wins share went to Lexi alone, followed by Oldheim at 16%. And then you had Dromai and Uziri rounding out in 3rd and 4th, which is pretty expected. I think these top 4 heroes were the top 4 in general, and I think the wins showed it. And then I think after that, even though the win totals are pretty close, I think the quality of hero really goes down a notch after these 4, which was pretty cool to see. Even though Lexi did dominate, and, you know, this is not going to be a does Lexi need a change discussion, not going to do that. But even though Lexi did kind of dominate with almost a quarter of the wins, you did have 4 pretty good heroes in the metagame as far as like consistent win totals. Azalea actually surprised me at 18. I knew Azalea would have wins and like be in the mix, but I thought she'd be around like this area, like Phi and Bravo, or like 13, 14. So the fact that she squeaked out at number 5 total in wins is pretty nice. Briar needed 18 wins in RTN season in order to get Living Legend, and as you can see here, she is sitting at 998 Living Legend points, so she got 17 wins, which is pretty nuts, pretty crazy how that eked out. There's a whole discussion on like some people conceding, so the opponent in the final was a Briar. They would concede to give them the win. I heard rumors that some Briars conceded on purpose in the finals to avoid getting Living Legend. You know, there's not too much to discuss on that. I think here's my take on it. I'll give like a quick 30-second take like a minute long, is yes, is there a way for people to cheat the Living Legend system by making sure, you know, by conceding the finals to give a hero points or to prevent a hero from having points? Sure. There's been 2 like arguments to it. Like one argument is like give all heroes in top 8 tiered like Living Legend points. So like let's just say a win is 5 points. If you get top 4, it's 3 points. If you get top 8, it's 1 point or something like that. I see that, but also like I don't like that personally, because RTNs, in order to have a top 8, you only need 17 players attended. In order to have a top 4, it's even less than that. So, like, that's a large armory in some places. Like, I know it's different across the country, but, like, in Dallas, that's a good-size armory. Like, we have, you know, if on a good night, we'll have 12, 14 people at an armory, and our events sell instantly. Now, granted, we're a hot spot, but, like, I don't want somebody getting like an obscure RTN like with only like 17 players and they get top 4 and or top 8, which basically is like top half. It's not even like a true top 8. It's basically like you placed in the top half of the 17 players, and they get armory and they get Living Legend points for it. Another argument is like only Battle Hardens and up give it Living Legend points, and I could see that, but if they did that, you would have to severely heighten the amount of points they get, because currently right now Battle Hardens only give 10 points, and there's not a ton of Battle Hardens, right? And so like I don't know, I don't think it should be that crazy. If you were going to do that, I think that Battle Hardens would have to give like 25 points, and then Nats would have to give like 50, and then Callings would give 100, and so on and so forth. In my national cap was 96. Like this number would have to go to 25. This number would have to go to 50, in my opinion. Just how I would look at. But I like the system. even though it has like a couple little tweaks, I think that it's better than most rotating formats. The fact that like, even some of these heroes have speed, ran, living legend, and I think they're making some balance changes that are going to change that. But like, if you're a certain hero, like, and you buy cards for your hero, even if your hero living legends, your cards are still good, barring that you have a specialization, and they're reprinting heroes in different forms. So like, I don't think that that's an issue. I like the system, and you couldn't give me a better system personally, in my opinion. If someone thinks someone, cool, but regardless, that's where Briar's at. Katsu actually placed above 5, which was fun to see. At 15 wins, did pretty good. I think Katsu, honestly, going into this meta without Oldheim in it is a pretty good pick. The Lexi matchup isn't horrible. I think it's slightly unfavored in my opinion. You have to draw pretty well, but it's definitely winnable. It's pretty close 50-50 at this point. Dromai is favored. Uziri, it's slightly unfavored, but I think also that's a super big skill matchup. Same thing with Azalea. I think that's also a skill matchup. So I could see Katsu, like, he's 50-50 or better into every major deck in the format right now. Even Icelander without hypothermia really struggles into Katsu, in my opinion. And Fi, it's really truly a 50-50. So like all of these in the top meta are 50-50 or better for Katsu. So I think he's actually a pretty good pick now. I know I made that video about the problem with Katsu, and I still stand by those opinions. But, I think someone who really just like takes the time into the hero could maybe have some good placings. But overall, Katsu had 15. Icelander and Fi tied at 14. Nothing crazy there. Bravo, Viserai. Viserai actually had more representation and more wins than I thought. Not that the hero is bad. I just didn't see people taking him out. But I think once Zach Bunn had his high placing, I think that like motivated some people to pick up Viserai and play him. And that's why you see him at 11 wins. Dash and Dory, they're right where they're supposed to be, in my opinion. They're good, fair heroes. Dust Hold On might change that for Dorinthia, but we'll have to see. Kano was the biggest surprise to me. Kano getting 8 wins in this meta was pretty cool. I definitely didn't expect that. It's not like it's a ton of wins, but I expected Kano to have like 3, 4 wins, maybe 5. 8 wins is a lot. And then the final thing is Arachne having more wins than Riptide and Rhinar is pretty funny. Arachne had 3 wins, and I think that's attributed to the Lexi meta. The Arachne matchup for against Lexi is pretty favored for Arachne. If he even draws remotely decent and Lexi doesn't blow him out of the water, it's favored for Arachne, to be honest. Like, the only heroes that didn't get Living Legend were Bolton and Levia. Feels bad. But other than those 2 heroes, the fact that Arachne had 1, 2, 3, 4 heroes below the hero in terms of Living Legend points or wins is pretty cool. So I'm glad. I've been like really testing Arachne. Really, really fun. It's near auto loss in a Dromai, but if you can avoid the Dromais, you're in a good spot. So it's one of those heroes where it's kind of like, as long as you're willing to accept your bad against one deck in the field, it's a decent hero to like really put time into. So that's pretty much it for the RTN season. So Briar's going to stick around. The next ban and suspended announcement, I think it's July 3rd, which is like the release, just before the pre-release of Dust Till Dawn. And I don't think we have any big events until then. So I don't think Briar's going to go away anytime soon. She's got at least another couple months, in my opinion, 1 or 2 months minimum. So really it all depends how that goes along. But overall, it was a good RTN season. I played in a couple. Didn't do, basically went 50-50 with Azalea, or did go 50-50 with Azalea for the most part in my 2 RTNs. Not quite what I wanted to do, but it's all good. It was fun. Enjoyed it. But let me know what your thoughts are on the meta and what you think of these win totals. If you have a different kind of take than me, obviously Lexi did really well, but I don't see anything crazy negative here. Like, we had a lot of heroes that performed pretty well, and regardless if we have like a really dominating hero dominating whatever your term of dominating is in the meta, I think the meta overall did pretty well. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear from it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If you don't, let me know what type of content you want to see. Or you can just go to our Fleshbug Creator, leave a like, comment, and subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. I'm really enjoying it right now. Super excited for the upcoming events. Super excited for Dust Till Dawn. See what we have. Maybe we'll get a cool Katsu specialization. I've been seeing some really cool specializations come out for some new heroes. So, and people can now use the Briar specialization, which is really funny. But let me know what you're excited for in the new set. I'll actually be in Europe during the pre-release of the new set. I'll be in Paris that weekend. I'm going with family for the week, so I might try to like have some fun and find a random pre-release in Paris that weekend. We'll have to see. But yeah, thank you all so much, and I'll see y'all next time on TC Talk. Thank y'all.